Guys, this is a bit of a long-winded tutorial for the Revelations Easter egg, so here we go. So for step 1, you're going to have to shoot the 4 graves in spawn. Each one is representing our character's deaths. So as you can see there, I shot it through the barrier. That is very capable to do. So this is step 1. After you do that, you will have a lightning confirmation and the rock will disappear. The next step of the Easter egg is finding where the rock is placed. So as you can see in the video right now, I am showing each of the locations. So as you can see, the rock is there in Mob of the Dead. We are now moving on to Verrukt. And the last place it can be is in Shangri. Now once you've found this rock, you're going to need to buy the Keeper Protector and take him to said rock. Now with said rock, you will need to take the opposite jump pad in order for him to interact with it. Otherwise, you will just be standing there like a sore thumb. So right now I'm just showing me buying it, taking the jump pad across, and him starting the chant. Now once he has started his chant, it's going to last for 3 minutes, so your choice is either to let the rounds go past, or you can hold a parasite because they will do no damage to the keeper, but zombies and bosses will. So as you can see here, I'm holding a zombie behind a barrier in solo, waiting for him to complete his ritual, which he's just finished, and now you'll be able to pick up the first of 3 film reels. This one will be going to Nacht.
We must secure a method by which to play back this recording. It could be important.
As you can see now, I'm in Nacht, up the steps, and you can place the audio there. Each of these audio reels is about Sophia. Next step of the Easter egg is throwing an arnie into 3 of the Apothecon's holes. So you can see here, here's the first one I'm going to throw in, then the second, then the third. Now this isn't solo, and in my opinion this is the most frustrating step because zombies can just slap you in the back. So what you want to do here is just get someone to save a zombie in co-op, or if you're doing it solo, make sure you kill the zombie after the second hole and you'll be fine. Once you have thrown 3 arnies into the hole, you will then need to kill 3 margwas. Once each of these margwas are dead, you complete the step. If you do leave the Apothicon, they do stay in here. The downside is you will have to repeat this step. If you are doing this step in co-op, I suggest running the double points gobblegum, so then you get more points on this, and the person with the thunder gun can get the most. So here we are. Here is the 4th, 5th, and 6th hole I'm going to throw my arnies into. Each of these margwas do change based on their element. So this is number 5. Changing based on their element. So the first one will be a normal, second one will be fire, and the third will be shadow. As you can see, throwing it into the last one, and then the next 3 margwas spawning. So you should have 9 margwas in total. Once you have killed the last fire margwa, you can start the next part of the step. You can now do the last 3 holes in here. So here is the 7th, 8th, and 9th hole. This one will spawn a shadow margwa, 3 shadow margwas, and to be honest, it's very easy if you have a thunder gun. This is why the step's suggesting that you start getting prepped towards the end of the Easter egg. Once you have killed the 3rd and final margwa, you will then be able to pick up the next film reel, which is the 2nd out of the 3. As you can see, it is found on the bridge. Now, where you place this reel is in Kino, right in front of the stage. Next step is collecting each of the bones of Sophia, and there's 6 in total. So as you can see, here's the one in spawn. Right now I was trying out to see if you need an upgraded Apothicon, because I wasn't sure, and you definitely need one. So I'll be coming back to this place and the Shangri place. So the next place I'll be going to is Shangri, and this is the easiest one out of the 6. All you will need to do is come up here, shoot that rock, and the head will pop out. So now I'm going to go back to spawn and get that skull with the upgraded Apothicon servant. These are fairly easy to get right now. This is one of the hardest ones to see, in my opinion. And now let's go to Shangri and pick up that skull. I suggest someone holds a zombie during this step. You will also need a pack-a-punch weapon to do this step, otherwise you will not be able to open up. So here is the hardest bone, which everyone has trouble with and was the last one the community found, which is on the edge of this rounded bit. So my suggestion is you get a gun that has a lot of ammo, sort of like this gun, and that's pretty much it. Now you just shoot the Apothicon there, collect that bone. After each bone you will hear a notification noise, as you can hear right now. Sort of like a bone clicking. The next one is in Nacht, right as soon as you come out of Der Eisen. That will be your 4th bone. Your 5th bone is going to be in this by the wolfhound. This is a fairly obvious one, as you can see. Just shoot it, pack punch gun, and buff, get it with the Apothicon servant. The last and final bone you will need to find is the one in Origins. So this is near the dig site where the person would slam you with a giant robot, and here you go. So all you do, shoot that rock. It's fairly obvious when you start doing these Easter eggs. Right there, and buff. Let's just stick the bone off. What you'll need to do now is go to Nacht and go where that radio was, and you will see a pile of skeleton bones. You'll then need to shoot that with the Apothicon servant. Once it's picked up, it will drop the dead body of Sophia, which is a reused Shadows of Evil zombie texture, which is... come on, try it. So all you do then is you then use the Apothicon servant on that dead body, and it will suck it up. After the body has been sucked up, it will drop the third and final reel talking about Sophia. As you can see here. Now, this reel goes to Origins and goes up on the top of the mound. The next step of the Easter egg is going to each of the corruption turrets and shooting a crystal to the right of the map. So as you can see right now, I'm going to Maul the Dead and getting the crystal there. You'll need to shoot each of these 4 crystals, each of these locations, and it will reform Sophia. As you can see, now Verrukkt, to the right, and the crystal. Now sometimes these crystals won't render, which can be a problem, but here's spawn, and DE is where this happened. So as you can see, right there, didn't even render. All you do now is you go up the steps, press square on Sophia, and you will now need to follow Sophia down into Kino. Now if you don't go through the pool with her, you will just have to wait and she will come back in. Now sometimes she doesn't render and she can just push you out of the way. So as you can see here, I'm going to follow her all the way down into Kino. Right, she can run over zombies, which is pretty cool, so she acts like a fury. Now she's going to go on top of the teleporter, and you're going to go into Samantha's room. Now in Samantha's room, there's 3 things you can interact with, which one is the kronorium, which is how you progress in this Easter egg. The kronorium is located on the bed, as shown right now. When you do go in the teleporter, you will need to press square. So the second interactable is this. You will need to have done all the other Easter eggs on the other map, and you will get the wisp. After you have done this, you will then need to place the kronorium on the pedestal in Kino. Once this is done, it will send 4 souls up to the Kino projector room. This will then start the Easter egg hunt. Total, and this was thanks to Reddit. So the first one is in that basket, or possibly in the trash can. The next one is over by Quick Revive, and there will be one over here. Now with these eggs, 4 will spawn in total for each of the runes, and you will need to find said runes. Now these eggs can spawn on the same island, and as you can see here, I've already done this step, so they won't be there, but yep. These are where they are. Whenever I aim, that is where the eggs are located. The link for the Reddit post will be in the description just in case you guys want to look at it, so you have a text detail on where these eggs are. But this is the visual representation for it. Next up, the Easter egg is finding each of the egg locations. Next step of these eggs is placing them inside of the Apothicon. Now there's 4 locations for each player, and in solo you need to pick up each of these eggs one at a time. As you can see, so in the 4 locations, and up. Now what you will need to do now is you will need to fill each of these up with souls. Once they're filled with souls, you'll be able to pick up each of these gate worms. Now with these gate worms, you're going to look around the map, so one will spawn in each location. Now with this Easter egg, it gives you a lot of hints, so you will need to turn vibration on for this, and you'll hear sonar beeping, as you'll hear in a few seconds when I go down the steps, because I wasn't too sure on where they are. Now these locations aren't really known, there's probably 1 per area in my opinion, but that's sort of early Easter egg right now. So as you can see, going down here, sonar beeping gets louder, and there it is. Now once the worm has done its little animation of sort of dying, you can pick up the rune. Now you can only do 1 worm at a time, which is sort of disappointing, but there we are. I'm now going to Verrukt, and this one fairly obvious because there's only 3 locations and these are what we know. So there's one up here in power, which fortunately was the one. The other one is where the keeper rock can be, and the last one is near one of the egg locations near the jump pad. So here's the next room for Dead and Verruktt. Now this one, it can pretty much be anywhere, but where I found it here, I'm going down into the memorial or statue room. As you can hear, the beep is getting louder. And woof, next room. Now, once you've collected the 4th and final room, you can go into the boss fight. So, here we're going to spawn. And each of these, to be honest, are very easy. This step is very, very easy. Once each of the runes are collected, you can now go into the boss fight, which in co-op you can all land on each other, so I'm just giving you a forewarning if you're going to use Mega Goblins, but here we go. So to trigger this step, you will need to press X on the kronorium, and now you're going to do Simon Says. Each of these symbols relates to the runes of creation, so as you can see, this is number 3. Look at the book to term. This is number 4. So currently the order is 3, 4, 1, 2. Now, this order of runes also tells you what round the margwas is going to be. So each of these runes correspond to an element. So, the shadow element, which will be popping up in a few seconds, is the first one. First is shadow, second is ice, 4th one is lightning, and the 3rd is fire. This is only sort of said by someone yesterday, by Swag, and it sort of helps, but this is fairly easy stuff, as long as you have a thunder gun. This is one of the easiest boss fights that I have done in this game so far. So I will leave you with this. Once you have finished the last Margot round, the summoning key will drop in the middle and you can pick it up. Now when you come out, you can hit a death barrier or landing on top of each other, but there we are. So as you can see here, I'm throwing it into the Kino Toten radio, which is on top of the chandelier. The next one I did was in Dead and Verruktt, which is the clock. Third one, which is coming up, is in Shangri, and I do miss the focusing stone, but it's just like an uplink ball. It will come straight back to you if it does go out the map, and if you do not see it, it will have a blue flashing light around it and is very obvious, which you will see soon. Next one I got was in Origins, which is the gravestone step from the ice staff. Alright, so with the mob of the dead, you can see it's flashing. That's the indicator to warn you that it's going to disappear. But this is the next one, which is the poster mob of the dead. After this, I did the turret, which is sort of a reference back, because you used to be able to do this if you went out the map in Verrukt. And the last one, which is in Nacht, which is the red bow. It does not matter which order you do for this, but there we are. The last and final step of the Easter egg is taking on the Shadow Man. So as you can see here, we are in the Kino teleport, which is where you need to go. And boom. All you need to do to start this boss fight is go up to the kronorium, and he will say he will finish this. Now what you have to do here is, you will have to place a summoning key in 4 of the relating to the fountains in Shadows of Evil. And you need to fill it with souls. It does not matter where you fill it with souls though. Now during this step, margwas and panzers will spawn, but once you kill the first panzer, you are fine. It's only if you fail, they will spawn another panzer. And we do get this our first try because it is an easy Easter egg, and this was also our first attempt, which we could not believe that it was this easy. So what you do is, after the summoning key is filled, you can pick it up and you can throw it into Sophia and she will shoot a laser at the Shadow Man. As you can see here, I fail because I did not know how to do it, even though that should have hit it. So Chroma comes along and clutches up. So as you can see now, all you do is you just shoot the Shadow Man like you would in Shadows of Evil. And once he is inside the mouth of the Apothicon, you press square on the book, and that is the Easter egg. Well, hope you enjoyed the guide. I will leave the cutscene, because this is the first time of me completing it in this run.
Sophia. You know what we must do, my dear. We will do it together. As one we are. Now and forever.
With the evil vanquished, I can start making it all nice again. No undead, no apothicons, no shadow man. All of it gone. Forever. But here's the funny thing. You snowflakes shouldn't even still be here. You should be fading out of existence by now. Those blood vials. I was wondering when you'd bring this up. They're from realities we've already closed off. They shouldn't be here. They can't be here. Such a paradox means you're putting my perfect world at risk. You guys and your bloody free will. What to do? What to do? Well, you certainly can't stay here. You could send us somewhere else. Somewhere we've never been. I suppose I could make a little corner somewhere in history. A place where I can dump some of the other shit that I've left over. Or I just wipe you from existence. Ooh, hang on. Actually, that all works out perfectly.